Have you ever been absolutely certain about a memory, only to discover that someone else remembers it completely differently? Not just the small detail, but the entire event. The scary part is this: one of you isn't misremembering. Both of you are. Because your brain doesn't store memories like a video camera. It rebuilds them every single time you recall them, quietly changing details, emotions, even meaning, without you noticing. So today, we're going to uncover something unsettling: why your memories feel so real, so personal, and yet can be surprisingly unreliable, and how your brain is constantly rewriting your past to make sense of the present. Once you understand how memory actually works, you may never trust your own recollections the same way again. Have you ever argued with a friend about a memory you both shared? You remember it happening one way, and they swear it happened completely differently. It's frustrating, right? You both can't be right. Or can you? What if I told you that your memory isn't a perfect recording device? It's more like a creative storyteller, constantly editing and rewriting the past. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating and sometimes unsettling science of why our memories change over time. Think of your brain like a massive, intricate library. When you experience something, it's not like you're saving a video file to a hard drive. Instead, your brain breaks down the experience into different pieces: the sights, the sounds, the emotions, the facts. These pieces are then stored in different parts of your brain. When you want to recall that memory, your brain has to act like a librarian, rushing around to find all those scattered pieces and reassemble them. This process is called reconstruction. And here's the catch: every single time you reconstruct a memory, you risk changing it. It's like playing a game of telephone with yourself. The first time you tell the story, it's pretty close to the original. But each time you recall it, you might unconsciously add a new detail or forget an old one. Maybe you emphasize a different emotion or see the event from a new perspective. Over time, these tiny changes can add up, and the memory you have today might be quite different from the one you had a year ago. So why does this happen? One of the biggest reasons is something called the misinformation effect. This was famously studied by psychologist Elizabeth Loftus. In one classic experiment, she showed participants a video of a car accident. Later, she asked them questions about it. But here's the clever part: she changed one single word in the question. For one group, she asked, "How fast were the cars going when they smashed into each other?" For another group, she asked, "How fast were the cars going when they hit each other?" The results were incredible. The group that heard the word smashed estimated the cars were going much faster. Even more amazing, a week later, they were more likely to falsely remember seeing broken glass in the video, even though there wasn't any. That one powerful word, smashed, was enough to alter their memory of the event. This shows how easily our memories can be influenced by information we receive after the event has already happened. Think about it: a news report, a conversation with a friend, even the way a lawyer phrases a question can plant false details in our minds. Another key factor is our own emotional state. Strong emotions act like a spotlight for our memory. You probably have very vivid memories of major life events, like a graduation, a wedding, or the birth of a child. These are called flashbulb memories because they feel as clear and detailed as a photograph. We think we remember exactly where we were, what we were doing, and how we felt. But here's the twist: even these powerful, emotionally charged memories are not immune to distortion. While the core emotional gist of the experience tends to stay accurate, you remember feeling incredibly happy or profoundly sad. The peripheral details can get fuzzy and change over time. Why? Because when we're experiencing intense emotions, our brain prioritizes the emotional core of the experience. The less important details, like what color shirt someone was wearing or the exact time of day, might not get encoded as strongly, leaving them vulnerable to change later. We might even fill in those gaps with what we think should have been there, creating a memory that feels complete but isn't entirely accurate. Then there's the simple act of forgetting. Our brains are constantly being bombarded with new information. To prevent being completely overwhelmed, our brain has to do some spring cleaning. It's a use it or lose it system. Memories that we don't access frequently tend to fade away. The neural connections that form that memory weaken over time, making it harder and harder to retrieve. This is why you might struggle to remember what you had for breakfast last Tuesday, but you can recall your favorite childhood vacation in detail. You've probably thought about and retold that vacation story many more times. But what's truly mind-bending is that our current beliefs, feelings, and knowledge can actually reach back in time and reshape our past memories. This is called consistency bias. We have a natural tendency to want our past selves to align with our present selves. For example, if you're in a happy relationship now, you're more likely to remember the early stages of that relationship as being more romantic and positive than you might have actually felt at the time. Conversely, if you've just gone through a messy breakup, you might look back and reinterpret past events, seeing red flags that you didn't notice before. It's not that you're intentionally lying to yourself. Your brain is automatically editing your memories to create a more coherent and stable life story. This process is happening all the time. Think about how your political views have evolved. You might look back and feel like you've always held your current beliefs, even if that's not strictly true. Your brain smooths out the inconsistencies, making your personal journey feel more linear and logical than it probably was. It's a way for us to maintain a stable sense of identity. So, if our memories are so unreliable, what's the point of them? Are we all just living in a personalized fiction? Well, not exactly. Memory isn't designed to be a perfect historical record. From an evolutionary perspective, its purpose is much more practical. Memory is a tool for survival and future planning. It helps us learn from our mistakes, predict what might happen next, and navigate our social world. Being able to update our memories is actually an advantage. It allows us to incorporate new information and adapt to changing circumstances. Imagine if your memory of a particular food was permanently locked in from your first taste. You'd never be able to acquire a taste for something you initially disliked, like coffee or spicy food. The flexibility of our memory system allows for growth and learning. It allows us to forgive people, to move on from past traumas, and to build a narrative of our lives that gives us meaning and purpose. We focus on the lessons learned, not just the raw, unedited data of the past. So, the next time you find yourself in a friendly argument over a shared memory, remember this: it's not necessarily that one of you is right and the other is wrong. It's more likely that you've both become the editors of your own personal histories. You've both reconstructed the memory through the filter of your own unique experiences, emotions, and subsequent knowledge. Your memory is a living, breathing part of you. It's not a dusty old archive. It's a dynamic story that you are continuously co-writing with your brain. And honestly, isn't that a much more interesting way to think about the past?